Hello everybody. In this session, we are going to discuss about simple storage service S3. So, we'll see a introduction of S3. Then we'll compare the storage types like object storage, and then your block storage and file storage. And also we'll see what is Amazon simple storage service. We'll discuss about the basics, buckets and objects, Amazon S3 operations, the storage classes, S3 durability and availability, the data consistency, and we'll see how to uh, hosting a static website using S3 bucket. Then we'll see what is cores, then all the advanced feature of S3, then object lifecycle management, data encryption in S3, version in S3, MFA delete in S3, then pre-signed URLs, multi-path uploads, range gates, and we'll see how to replicate your S3 buckets through cross region, then logging event notifications, then we'll see best practice patterns and performance of S3. S3 introduction. Amazon S3, you can say one of the core service introduced by AWS. This is the one of the first services that is introduced by AWS. Amazon S3 provides a developers and IT teams with a secure, durable and highly scalable cloud storage. See, secure means you can secure your data. Durable you can say your data is long lasting. Means there will be no loss of data, you can say. And highly scalable. Scalable means there will be no question of size of my storage. Like uh, in the EBS volumes, you are thinking about size. Yeah, this is of 1 TB or 3 TB, 5 TB, like that. For S3, there is no size, you can say. You can store unlimited of size of data in S3. Amazon S3 is easy to use object storage with simple web service interface that you can use to store and retrieve any amount of data from anywhere on the internet. So using internet, you can store any amount of data from anywhere and retrieve those data also using the APIs, you can say, service interface. Common use cases of Amazon S3 storage is backup for archive for your on-premises or your cloud data. You can say content, media and software storage and distribution, big data analytics, static website hosting, cloud native mobile and internet application hosting, disaster recovery, and many more. So mostly S3, you can say this is a storage service by AWS. You can store any amount of data, and that storage anyone can access your storage. Like for an example, Google storage. So if you are uploading one video into Google storage or storing any data in the Google storage, if you provide permission to others, they can also access your data. So similarly, S3 is like your storage service. So in case of Azure, the blob storage, you can store any amount of data. Similarly, from Amazon side, S3 storage. We'll look about how, means there may be some confusion between your maybe your volume EBS, EFS, or maybe your S3. So there are many storage options from AWS. We'll just see what is the block storage, what is file storage, and what is your object storage. S3 comes under object storage. So block storage, you can say block storage is a volume, your drive, your EBS volumes is a block storage. Block storage operates at lower level, the raw storage device level, and manages data, a set of number and a fixed blocks. Each block of data is given a unique identifier, which allows a storage system to place the smaller piece of data wherever is most convenient. So suppose you are given one raw disk or a raw storage, and you are making to a block storage by, you can say, installing some software or making that. storage to a block storage, and in the block storage you can store any amount of data, and this is uniquely identifier, and you can install one OS, you can say. Next is file storage. File storage operates at a higher level. This is operates on operating level. On the top of the operating system, you can use the file storage, like storing some files, folders into the file storage. The operating system level and manages data as named hierarchy of files and folders. So this is used by like protocols like your CIFS, Common Internet File System, and Network File System, NFS. That is file storage. And next is object storage. Block or file storage is very closely associated with a server. Yeah, your block storage or your file storage is associated with a server with a operating system. The operating system that using the storage. So your operating system is use your block storage. But in case of object storage, it is independent of any server. Object storage is independent of a server and is accessed over the internet. So instead of managing data as a blocks or files using your file protocol like your SCSI, CIFS and NFS protocols, data is managed as objects using an application program interface, so API. Like, so each Amazon S3 contains both data and metadata. So this is the example of file storage is Amazon EFS, your EBS, your block storage Amazon EBS, and you can say your Amazon EC2 instance store. This comes under your block storage. For object storage, Amazon S3 and Amazon Glacier. So object storage basically, what the object storage is, it is independent of any server or independent of any operating system. This you can say some raw storage, and you are storing your data in the directly in the memory, and you are given some APIs to access your data, or you can use APIs to get, put and delete your data using APIs, not using any operating system. So due to that, storing of this data is faster. So any questions about object storage, or I can explain more?
How long we can keep and how fast are these?
Yeah, we will discuss about this durability and availability in the
Okay.
next session. But object storage, like, see, there will be a rack of your disks, and there is a huge amount of disk, and you are they are like using some programming. Uh, they will be simulated as one disk drive, you can say, and you are storing your data in the memory, and those memory information is stored in a some NoSQL database from the Amazon side. So while you are accessing those, so you'll given those APIs get, put and those delete, some APIs from the S3 side you will be given, and from the console also you can use, but console also internally use those APIs, right? So using that you are accessing your S3 objects. So there is no, you can say some server OS is attached to S3. Amazon simple storage service, the basic. Amazon S3 is simple key value object store designed for the internet. S3 provides unlimited storage space and works on the pay as you use model. So service rates get cheaper as the usage volume increases. So S3 offers an extremely durable and highly available and infinitely scalable data storage infrastructure at very low cost. You can say your data is highly durable and highly available. Available means, what is the meaning of available? Anyone? So available means every time this will be available to you, because see, suppose you might have some questions like, suppose one data center, some data center is there, if any problem with your data center, like if power, there is no power in a data center, so how will you get those data? Amazon S3 is stores in multiple data centers, you can have multiple availability zones, so that if any problem with one center means another center is ready to serve you. So your data is highly available. Anytime you can get your data from AWS. Infinitely scalable means there is no limit. So you can store any amount of data in S3. S3 is an object level storage, not block level storage. So S3 is a object level. This is very important. S3 is a object level storage and cannot be used to host OS or dynamic websites. So you cannot host one operating system, or for dynamic websites you can host a static website, as well as you can keep your static data like your video files, image files, and your HTML files, JSS files. Those things you can store in S3.
Not like EC2 or EBS.
Yes, you cannot mount one S3 bucket as a volume. Your volume should be in block storage, EBS. But for S3, this is object level storage and cannot use to host any OS.
Hello.
Yes,
So, what is the difference between block level storage and object level storage?
block level storage means, see, block level storage having some file system. So suppose you are using your laptop, right? And you are using some hard drive. That is block level storage. And on the top of your hardware, you are making that some file system like your NFS or your some or maybe your SCSI file system. So making one disk to one file system, and you are installing your software after that. So that is block storage. But okay, let me explain. Give me just 5 minutes. I'll explain. So this is like some storage of some maybe 1 TB. You are purchasing one laptop, right? And in the raw laptop, what you are doing, you are just installing one. Sorry, you are installing some OS and making some file system, and you are installing your OS. And this is attached to your laptop, you can say. This is attached to your laptop. This is block storage. And the size is limited, and you are installing your OS, and you are running your application in the storage, and it have some unique ID. Yeah, this is my C drive or D drive having some unique ID. But in case of your object storage, I will let me explain what is object storage. So object storage will be like this. Maybe this is a huge amount of disks. Inside huge amount of disks. So they are connected with each other by cables. They are each other by cables, right? And on top of that, there will be some set of software or APIs. You can say this is some API, AWS API to access. And the below that, okay, let me remove this. Oh, sorry. And maybe here is some RDS. I'm just telling you about your S3. Maybe some no yes, is there, and you are storing your objects somewhere here. Maybe you are storing somewhere here, and your API will communicate to those NoSQL. This is the internal thing. Maybe their design may be different, but this is my understanding. And on the API, okay, you can use directly. Suppose you are a client here, and you will use those API, or 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 you can use some console here, AWS console, or your SDK, or your CLI, or you can direct also use those APIs, right? And your console also communicate to these API, your SDK also communicate to your APIs. Your CLI also communicate to the API. The lower level is AWS API, or you can also use directly those APIs to access the S3. You can say this is some structure of S3, right? And to use this data, there is no OS, you can say, and some memory base. Like suppose I'm storing one data of size of 2 TB or 5 TB or 3 TB or maybe 100 MB, right? So those informations are stored in a NoSQL database, like uh, like my bucket. This is my bucket. There will be some entry like my bucket or object or metadata, or maybe your memory location. Those information will be stored in a NoSQL database. So while you are calling your API, so this API module will connect to your NoSQL database, maybe whatever maybe. So they will retrieve those informations like your bucket, metadata, and according to that, they will retrieve your data from the memory. You can say this is some only raw storage area, and your API will help using your metadata from maybe any database system, and they will retrieve your data for you. So you will how you will get, you will go to the console, and the console use those APIs, and from that you will see this is my all my objects. Using those APIs you can see all this is my objects, and while retrieve, while download, so they will use your metadata and your memory to get the object. This is like just an overview of S3 design, right? Okay, we'll see buckets and objects. So how we can store our data in S3. Amazon S3 allows you to store objects, you can say files, in buckets. So your first container will be bucket. You can say bucket is a container where I can store my data. Bucket must have a globally unique name. So while creating a bucket name, so you should consider that it is globally unique name. So suppose any name has been taken previously, you cannot use that. This is globally unique name. Buckets are defined at a region level. So your bucket is specific to a one region, but you can access from any area from world. 100 buckets is a soft limit, and maximum 1000 buckets can be created in each AWS account. So the naming convention like your no uppercase, no underscore. This is the maximum minimum is 3 character long, and maximum is 63 character long. So you cannot keep an IP as a bucket name. Must start with a lowercase letter or number. So let's show you how to create one bucket. So any questions till now?
I am good. Super. S3 is the simplest one.
Yes, it's simplest one. So similarly, you can go to the S3. You can search S3 here. And as of now, I have created some buckets. Okay, let me delete these buckets. Okay, keeping these buckets. So here is a bucket. So I can create another bucket, and like your bucket name should be unique, right? So if I created one bucket, so same bucket you cannot create from your account. So that is globally your bucket should be unique, like a domain name. Maybe I can create my bucket. I can give my some like this. I'm given one bucket, and while creating one bucket, you have to choose your region, right? So I'm just choosing this region, Mumbai region, and I'm just making all the default and create. So this bucket has been created, and here is my the new bucket, and this is the region and the access. So we'll discuss about the access and how to provide public access or how to provide a private access. We'll discuss that. Next is objects. So you can say your container is bucket, and inside the bucket you can create or you can upload any amount of data, or size. I will let you know what will the maximum size, what is the minimum size, and you can upload any amount of data inside the bucket, and that data you can say that is object. So your data, whatever you are providing, the files or any media files or video files or your image files or your text files, that can be objects. So objects have a key. So the key is the full path. You can say full path means your bucket name plus your file name or folder name. So combination of the full path is a object. Here is the full path, like my bucket. This is the bucket name, and this is the my file. So the total is S3 my bucket my file. This is a key, you can say. So using the key you can access your data. The key is composed of prefix plus object name. Prefix means you can give some folder name. See, there is no concept of folder or directory in S3. But if you want to provide some prefix, you can give, you can, because see, we are habituated with Windows system, all are. So we know what is folder and files. So you can also provide some name as a prefix to a object name. So similarly here, like S3 my bucket and then my folder one, this can be a prefix. Any other folder you can also provide like this way to create one object. So there is no concept of directory within a bucket. Although the UI will trick you to think otherwise. So UI will show you, yeah, this can be a directory, but there is no concept of directory or folder in S3. Metadata is the data about the data. So metadata is a extra information about your object, and is set of the name value pair that describe the object. For example, like your content type, size, last modified. Those information you can say as a metadata. What is my size of data? When the last modified my object. Like, so those extra information is a metadata. Custom metadata can also be specified at the time of object is stored. So you can also provide some custom metadata. Amazon S3 operation. So before that, let me show you one object. So here some object has been created previously. Maybe let me see. Yes, I am having two image files. So you can say this is one object, and the URL is this one S3, then my bucket name, then your file name. This is, you can say, the object. object path, or you can use this URL, like this is the URL, the public URL. If you click this, you will see the file store here. This bucket is public, so you are able to see. If the bucket is private, you cannot see that. So I am making this bucket as public, so you are able to see one content here, right? Next is Amazon S3 operation. So how we are going to access the data? The Amazon S3 API is intentionally simple and with only a handful of common operations. So we are having very limited operation, you can say. We have to create and delete a bucket, write an object, read an object, delete an object, list keys in the bucket. So these only 5 operations. So for the bucket side, we have to create or delete, and the object side we have to create or delete, or you can say write an object, read an object, and delete an object. 3 operations plus we can also list the keys, the all the object inside the bucket, right? The native interface for Amazon S3 is REST API. You can say the native interface or your lower level interface is your Amazon S3 REST API. With the REST interface, you use standard HTTP or HTTP request to create and delete buckets, list keys, and read and write objects. SDK, AWS CLI, and AWS console management. And using this, you can also access your S3. So simply, suppose you want to use some CLI, you can configure your CLI. Sorry. And also here, all should configure CLI in their system. I will let you know how to configure in the IAM section. So if you use these commands, CLI command, AWS S3 ls, like this, you will see all the buckets and those details inside your console. Next is durability and availability. Durability addresses the question, will my data still be there in future? Durability means how long lasting your data, means how, suppose you are buying one product, so you are checking the durability, like this is, I can use this for 10 years or 5 years, right? So similarly in your objects that you uploaded in S3, so what will be the durability? How much time my data will be there in future? Availability addresses the question, can I access my data right now? Availability means every time you are going to access, or anytime maybe there may be some down in server, right? So availability means every time you can access your data. Availability means whether my data is available right now or not, or maybe tomorrow or not. That is availability. Amazon S3 designed to provide both very high durability and very high availability for your data. For Amazon S3 standard storage, there is many type of storage options in Amazon S3. For standard storage, it is designed to 99.999999999 durability and 99.99% availability of your object. So durability is very high, 11 nines, and availability is 99.99 for your object over a given year. So for example, how we can understand the availability, durability. For an example, if you store 10,000 objects with Amazon S3, so you can on average expect to incur a data loss of a single object once every you can say 1 crore years. So suppose you are storing 10,000 objects in S3, so there may be chance of losing of one object from 10,000 in this amount of years. This is the durability that AWS is provide. Amazon S3 achieves high durability by automatically storing data redundantly on multiple devices in multiple facilities with a reason. So what Amazon is, how Amazon is giving such a guarantee that your data is durable for such a years. So it is, while you are copying your data to S3, it is automatically storing your data in multiple areas, in multiple availability zone or multiple facilities with a reason. So due to that, we are getting such a high amount of durability. So next is storage classes. Amazon S3 offers a range of storage classes suitable for various use cases. So storage class means they are providing you different type of storages and accordingly the price. So actually storage classes is every time they are changing. So I have not listed anything here. So let me show you the current storage classes supported by AWS. Best. So we are having different type of storage classes, like you can say S3 standard, S3 intelligent tiering, S3 standard IA, one zone IA, glacier instance retrieval, glacier flexible retrieval. There are many things are there. So you can try to study this, but uh, every time we'll use S3 standard storage in our demo. So there will be every comparison will be there. Yeah, here is the comparison. Performance across the S3 storage class. So performance, durability, and your price, every comparison will be there. So all storage classes here. So this is the durability, availability, SLA, availability zones, minimum capacity, minimum storage duration, everything is there. And your fast byte latency, storage types. You can refer this. You can search in internet S3 storage classes. You will get. Any questions? Okay, we'll see data consistency. Amazon S3 is an eventually consistent system. So we'll see what is eventual consistency, what is strongly consistency. Your data is automatically replicated across multiple servers and locations within a region. Read after write consistency for puts for new objects. So while writing any new objects, your consistency model will be read after write. Strong consistency, you can say. As soon as a new object is written, we can retrieve it. This is true. Expect we did a get before to see if the object is existed or not. So eventual consistency for deletes and puts of existing objects. If we read an object after updating, we might get the older version. This is eventual consistency. If we delete an object, we might still be able to retrieve it for a short time. So let me explain about this consistency. Uh, so like we are having eventual consistency, and you can say in another read after write. Eventually mean okay. Let me explain. Read after write, or you can say strong. That means suppose you are storing one data in S3. Suppose your data size is maybe 1 TB and you are storing into S3. So 1 TB data means it will take some time. Maybe you can say 1 minute, or it is depend upon your bandwidth, your internet bandwidth. So for suppose your speed is 1 Mbps. So to upload 1 TB data, it will take maybe 100,000 1024 second. If your speed is 1 Mbps, if more, then this time also less. And after uploading everything, you can read the data. After uploading fully, you can read that. And before that, you cannot read your pocket, your object from S3. This is read after write. You can say strongly consistency. But suppose I have uploaded one data, maybe say my file dot mp4 data has been uploaded of size 1 GB, right? Now I change my data, and now I will upload the same data with a different content. Maybe my size has been increased to 2 TB now because I edited my file, and now I am going to upload. So I am uploading, and it will take some how much second? Maybe 2048 second. It will take, right? So meantime, someone try to access my data. What will happen? Someone meantime I am uploading. My upload is not completed, but one user is trying to access my data. So what will happen? Can he access the older data, or can he access the combination of new data and old data? Maybe while uploading, maybe some MB of data uploaded, right? So can he get older data plus some part of new data, or may not the get data because this is uploading? So in the file, suppose in the Windows system, you are copying one file and this is not copied yet, and someone try to access that, he can't because copying in progress. But in this case, what will be the scenario?
May get the previous version.
Yes. Old and new, or no data, because copying in progress. So see, this is the three scenarios, but he will get the older data or older version of data. You are right, older version of data. And suppose my copy has been completed, uploading has been completed just now. Uploading completed just now, right? So in the first scenario, he will get definite older data. He will not get any combination of older data because this is called, you can say, eventually consistency. So data writing in progress, no problem. The user should not be a blocker. User should not blocker. So he should get the previous data. But for the first write, for the initial write, the user have to wait to complete. But for the already updated data, you have to wait. So we'll discuss that slide. After this, we will discuss that page. So what I have written in that slide, we can also discuss. Yeah, and the second scenario, uploading has been completed. So what will happen? So we can remove this because there is no like copying in progress is completed. I will not get the known data, and also I will not get the combination of old data or new data because my uploading has been completed. So in this scenario, there is two options, maybe older data or maybe newer data. Because this is eventual consistence, and the user may get older data or may get the newer data. So any reason why the user will get the older data? So, Sudhir?
It is object based, and S3 keeps a version of every uploaded data whenever we update something. And the second thing is that there are different types of reads, like read committed or read uncommitted. You can, if it is even if it is not uploaded and a previous version is there, you still can get that.
Yes. So no, my question is, after uploading also completed, there is a chance of getting a older data.
Oh yeah, there is a chance of God, I forgot that. Yes, there is a chance of getting older data. Is it because of the
Because
caching? Because it has not been
it not been replicated to all facilities,
all. Yes,
regions. So suppose you are accessing one data, maybe you have contacted some zones or availability or some area, and in that area may not be the data is updated. So the you have uploaded it, yeah, it's okay, but the synchronization is may not updated at that time. So you may get the older data.
it is. It happens only when your data set is very large. It takes
Yes.
some time, a few
Yeah,
seconds or
sometimes
a minute.
sometimes to synchronize, because you are synchronizing. Suppose this is my AWS region, right? And maybe some availability area is there. Maybe you can say three, and you are uploading one object. You are a user. You are a user. You are uploading one data, right? So using those APIs, so your data is replicated to three availability zone or three facilities, you can say, right? So those data will be copied or synchronized, asynchronous, copied to different zones. Okay, now we can discuss. So eventually consistent system you got. Your data is automatically replicated across multiple servers and locations within a region. So read after write consistency for puts of new object. For the freshly you are uploading a new object, the first version of the object. So you will get after read, read after write. So after write you can read the data. But for you can say eventually consistent for deletes and puts. If a if we read an object after updating, we might get the older version, or same also. If you delete one data, if you delete an object, we might still be able to retrieve the it for a some time. So suppose we have given the delete command, so that may not be deleted from all facilities, and at that time if we read trying to read those data, we can get the latest version data for some time, maybe for a short time. Any questions? If you'll ask some questions, then I'll clarify.
Say that again.
Hmm?
Say that again.
Yeah, if you'll ask some questions, then I will clarify.
I think I'm clear about these ports and um, w- but I know that read after write consistency, eventual
Okay,
consistency.
okay. We'll see static website hosting. So using S3, we can also configure one static website, and we can access those website using S3 bucket. In the S3 bucket, there is some certain rule. So like you have to add some index.html, and we have to make that bucket for static website hosting, and after that you can able to retrieve your data. using those URL, your S3 URL. So is today have time? Today I think we have less time. So maybe next session I will show you how to host a website, a static website using Amazon S3 bucket.
Okay.
So